Hey guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to be giving you some AI prompts tonight. First of all, I'm just going to make sure that the stream is okay. I've been using StreamYard and the connection hasn't been great lately. So let me just quickly check that. And then I'm going to give you some framework that I use because it's been a question that I've been asked lately. And this will help with oh, I'm in the wrong LinkedIn account there. Sorry. Give me 2 moments. There's been a lot of questions lately about using AI in marketing and the right way to do it. There is a lot of people using it the wrong way, and I wanted to give you a little bit of framework that I use that'll help you to use it the right way. AI in marketing should not be your content savior or your savior in marketing. Um, there's a lot of bad work out there, and it's really, really obvious. Well, it is to me when I see AI. Hey there, guys. Hey, Nikki, how are you? I am multi streaming to a few different channels here, so I may not be able to answer all of your questions, but do drop them below, and then of course when I finish all of the streams I'll be able to get back to those answers, those questions. But this framework is really, really going to help you to use AI in your marketing. It doesn't matter whether you're using it for a large business, small business, personal brand, or a different, like a larger brand. It's really, really helped us to, okay, sorry, I'm just checking that there. Okay. All right, I'll just get stuck into that. I'm hoping the stream is okay. Wonderful. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Melissa Mitchell. I own a marketing agency and we focus on organic marketing. So, that's where we help business owners to get seen organically using methods that are non paid strategies. So, not using ads, etc. Absolutely love what we do. And of course, so many different niches that we work in, and we get to work with so many different amazing people. And getting back to AI, so why I thought I would speak about this tonight is, and it's not this company's fault. And of course, getting on and talking about this tonight, they wouldn't know, we get a lot of requests daily, so they actually wouldn't know that I'm talking about them. But the request came through, and the request was very detailed, and it had obviously been generated by AI, and it had a huge table in where they obviously thought that what they believed marketing should be and time allocated to it. And I could tell that this was generated by AI. There's a number of ways that I can tell that something is being generated by AI, particularly here in Australia, because usually the language is written in American English, and obviously we speak British English here. Well, obviously we're in Australia. So hey, Gremig, how are you? Nice to have you on TikTok. I am streaming to LinkedIn, but I don't think the connection is that great over there tonight, Gremig. So nice to have you on. And just the way that some of the spacing is set out, some of the emojis used. Usually when people use AI, and thank you for the love there, when they're not using a paid AI, yeah, it does, Gremig. I think just the connection and everything, particularly when you go live on LinkedIn, it never generally, yeah, the live feature is not so great because you have to use a third-party tool. So it's a bit of a pain. The way that it's laid out, a lot of the punctuation as well, it's just, I can always tell. And the way that it had been set out, it prompted me to do this live and to give you some framework of how you should be using it. So what I wanted to mention is that AI should never replace what you're doing, and that is not the intended purpose. AI has been around long before the whole buzzword of AI that we've been talking about it. And now I'm only talking about it in marketing, but we've all been using AI without realizing it before this whole buzzword came out. Long before it was a thing that anyone could really get their hands on. You've been using it in email systems. You've been using it when you go onto websites and you're interacting with chatbots and those sorts of things. So it is not a new concept. It's just that the general public weren't aware that they were using it, and you haven't been using it in your own interactions and business and that sort of thing. Now everyone's got it, and everyone is using it, and they're not using it the correct way. And you can do your business a lot of damage if you're not using it the correct way. So I'm going to go through some framework that will help you. Now, there are a lot of free softwares out there that are AI software that you can use. Is it just as good as the paid? Absolutely not. I'm going to be honest. No, it's not. Although the new GPT 4.0, I think it's called, is pretty good. It is actually pretty good. It's the next best thing to a paid. I do use AI in my business and ChatGPT, the Pro, the paid version, every single day, but I don't use it to write all of my content, and I don't use it. Thank you, Gremic. You're so kind. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. My gosh, you're too generous there. Thank you. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you so much. I do use it every single day, but I use it to structure. And when you have the paid version, you can, what it does is it cuts down time. It skims the internet for articles, for research. Thank you, Gruig. I've got it plugged into Scholar AI, so a Google site, and it skims the internet and it finds articles where I can draw information from. That's how I use it, but I don't use it to write my content, but I do use it to find, research and that sort of thing. So framework, if you are using it to do research, there's a framework called Risen, Risen. Now, what I'm going to be doing is writing an article on this, and then I put that article out every single Sunday onto LinkedIn. Now, even if you're not on LinkedIn, you can still access this article because I've got it set to public. So even if you don't have a LinkedIn account, I have the article set to public. And that's for SEO purposes. So if you're not on LinkedIn, you can still access this article every single Sunday. Put an article out, and that's what will be this Sunday's article. So the framework is called Risen. I did not make up this framework. I'm not sure who the original creator of this framework is, but it is something that people use on for AI. So RISEN. So I'll go through that now, and I highly recommend you use this for any of your AI prompts. Gremic is saying, I need a scholarly resource for article for backlinks. Yeah, Gremic, are you using the paid ChatGPT? I think it's around about $27 a month or $20. I don't know, something like that. Highly recommend it. They don't do plugins anymore on the ChatGPT, the paid one. They call it something else. I think just GPTs. You can pin it to your sidebar. I've got about 30 or 40 that I've pinned on there that I use. Awesome. You've got it. Yep, great. Awesome. Scholar AI is the one that I use. Backlinks. I don't have one for backlinks, but you'd be able to find a really good one on there for backlinks. Two of the main GPTs that I use is Scholar AI, and I think just a GPT called Scholar. And I use a lot of that for my research. You'll probably really, really enjoy that one. Really, really love it. Okay, the Risen framework is role, input, steps, expectation, and narrowing. So I'll go through each of those. So anytime you're putting a prompt into AI, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, or anything else, use this framework. So the first thing is give the prompt a role. Now, I'm just going to use marketing as an example. So the first thing I would say to the AI is you are an Risen. So the acronym Gremic is Risen. RISEN. So like rise, but risen. Yeah, risen. That's it. Yep, correct. And I'll put an article out, Gremic, on LinkedIn on Sunday night. You'll be able to read this. RISEN, role, input, steps, expectation, and narrowing. So as I said, the article will come out and you'll be able to have that, all of that information. But if you also Google the Risen framework for ChatGPT or AI prompt, you'll be able to read about this because it's a well-known thing. I only learned about this about 6 months ago. So if you Google it, there's a lot of people have written about this framework. So the role. So this is about understanding who is involved in your prompt. So if you want them to act like, I usually say you're an expert social media marketer, or you could say you're an expert SEO, or a website developer, or a blog writer, or you're an expert food nutritionist, and I want you to research. So correct. Thanks, Gromik. Thank you. Thank you. So that's the first thing. You want to give the prompt a role. Tell them who are they needing, who is the GPT needing to act as. So that's the first thing. Role, input. So this is the data or information you provide the prompt. So it's like telling a story to the AI. So the input can vary. So a question or a statement, or even a set of data points. So you are an expert social media marketer, and this is what I'm going to get you to do. So that's kind of the start of the story. The next is the steps. So you're painting a little bit of story with the input, but then the next step is steps, and these are the instructions or directions that you're going to give the AI. So I'm just reading my notes here. So it's like a recipe for the AI to follow. The clearer and the more structured, the better the outcome. You have to remember, this is a machine. It doesn't know what you're thinking, and your interpretation of what's up here, it doesn't know. So get very, very clear. So I tell it exactly. So I might say, I want you to act as an expert social media marketer in the style of Gary Vaynerchuk, but I don't want you to use the curse words or the swear words. I just really love his enthusiasm, and I'd like you to model that. What I want you to do is I want you to give some content ideas for my client who is a cosmetic doctor. The cosmetic doctor is blah, 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 blah. And the steps I need you to take are ideas around the topic of hyaluronic acid. I don't need to go into that because they're going to oh, sorry. I don't need to, my computer just switched off there. I don't need to go into that because they're going to research that. The expectation is E, which is the next one. What do you want at the end? It's the goal or outcome you're aiming for with your prompt. So clear expectations lead to more targeted and useful AI responses. I put in things here. Please only use British English grammar. I don't want emojis or hashtags. So I always say, thank you, Gremic. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. I say, not to provide hashtags or emojis because I don't want them in what I'm asking it to do. I might want 20 topic ideas on the topic of hyaluronic acid. I might also want, please only use Australian sources. Please give me the reference links because I need to reference that in what I'm creating. Please give me the reference source because I need to go back and check it. That's the expectation. What are you expecting back? The last prompt there is narrowing. Please provide any restrictions, limits, or what to focus on for the AI to follow, like limits on word count or particular areas, which I've probably gone into that a little bit with expectations. So I might say each topic needs to be like, or if you're writing an article, does it need to be 500 words, 200 words, 1,000 words? Any other expectations, like I said, does it need to be in Spanish? I've probably done that in expectations. It's probably overlapped a little bit with that with the British English language, but you could go on to further with that. So that framework again is Risen. Role, input, steps, expectation, and narrowing. So if you follow this, you're going to get more out of just saying, give me 10 topic ideas that I could use for the topic of hyaluronic acid, because that is very broad. It could come from Egypt, in which case it's not relevant for what I'm asking for. So going back to the document that I was given from my hey Michelle, how are you? I'll come back to that question. I was on another page reading my notes, so I didn't see that question there. Going back to the prompt that I was given for this proposal, it was just so dehumanized. It was 3 hours a week for this, 4 hours a week for this, and it was not congruent. It was not a proper document. And that's the problem with content that's been going out with us, with businesses. There's nothing congruent. There's nothing succinct. Someone has just put one prompt in, write my content for this. Boom, copy and paste. And it is so terrible. It is and I'll tell you why it's not doing you justice. I'll just answer this question. Hey, Simon. Hey. So Michelle, do you think it's appropriate to use ChatGPT? And Simon, I'm going to answer that because that is absolutely brilliant point there. Michelle says, do you think it's appropriate to use ChatGPT to create prompts for ideas for social media posts, then create the post yourself? Absolutely, you can use ChatGPT to create the prompts, ask it to critique. So ask it to create the prompts using the Risen framework, then ask it to critique. What would you do different given this the target audience? You're kind of then opening a can of worms, which is a good thing because you can ask it to critique. You can ask it then to study 3 different sites of competitors that you like, and where's the competitive white space? What am I missing here that my competitors have got? Fill in the gaps. And then creating the posts yourself, yes, 100%, because then the more human you can humanize the posts, the more you're going to rank on Google, because you're not competing with AI content after AI content, in which Google then says, I've got to slap this content somewhere to rank it in Google. Where am I going to rank this content? Oh, this is AI. Oh, here's some human content. I'm going to rank this up. I want more people to see it. Yes, Michelle, 100%. Simon, my friend, how are you, my global discussion friend? Checking the reference source is vital. Original journalism rules apply. Absolutely. And Simon, 100% has made a very, very valid point. This is going to get stricter and stricter and stricter as AI takes over. And it is absolutely, it is one of my pet hates. It is absolutely one of my pet hates. And I'm not going to open a can of worms here about confirmation bias on Google. I've got a real huge pet hate about people blabbing things off about research. No, you're Googling stuff. You're not researching. You're Googling stuff to find the answer that you want to see. And that is called confirmation bias. I'm not going to go there because that is one of my pet hates. And Simon has made a really good point. Reference the source and make sure it's a reliable source. And just because you are using an AI does not mean it's correct. If you're using a paid AI and you're connecting it to Google Scholar, still check the source, but it's more reliable. Simon is saying human plus AI is still critical at this point. 100%, Simon. Do not simply copy and paste. Totally agree, which is what Simon's saying. Couldn't agree more. And this is what we are seeing, and it is so frustrating. So frustrating. My daughter is 14. And she is all over this, like you wouldn't believe. She's saying, Mum, I hope you are not just relying on that AI. And I'm like, Macy, sorry, I won't say her name. I'm like, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm a huge advocate for that. Simon, I'm so glad you raised that point. And you can see my blood boiling because there's so many people out there, isn't there, Simon? Your blood is probably boiling too because you work in this space. And the amount of people and social media platforms need to be more responsible for this crap that goes on out there, don't they, Simon? I'm not even going to say it because I'll probably open a can of worms here. I saw someone declaring something medically the other day on that something doesn't exist. And I was like, I'm not a doctor. I can't say that exists or it doesn't exist. But hey, wow. You're talking about people that are taking medication for that and you're not a doctor. But anyway, that's opening a can of worms. It's even with AI, do not do not quote something like use it wisely, reference it back. And this is why, like, even with AI, particularly the non-paid AI, don't take it. Like my daughter is always saying to me, Mum, check it, check it, check it. Hey, Michael's you go from TikTok to LinkedIn. I love it, Michael. Check it, check your sources. And this is where AI is letting us down. It's so frustrating. Simon, I think a scholarly tool. Yeah, mate, Simon, you might be the answer on LinkedIn there. A scholarly tool would be confirmed as reliable or as not reliable database. So, Simon, so we're talking about and what Mike was asking there on the paid chat GPT. I've got a they don't call them plugins anymore; they're just GPTs. I've got it connected to Scholar AI, so it's like goes into Google Scholar. Um, Yeah, 100%, Michelle. Yep, fact checking. Yeah, absolutely for AI. I yes, Michael, but still, I would still check it, Michael. I'll see what Simon says. 100%. I'd still check it. I'd still check everything. I still check everything. I've got it. Like I said, I connect it to Google Scholar, which is pretty reliable. But I think everything. Look, I still check everything. So, like, and particularly because I'm doing marketing for my clients and our clients, and I'm saying to my team, do not quote anything without a source. And generally, the source, I try and stick to sources that are maybe government bodies. Um, like, say, okay, so clients here in Australia, if they're in the agricultural sector, if they've got a .gov after them, I'll usually use those sites. So just to be careful. So, Ralph, no, it could be. It could be Ralph, but yeah, I'm not into that stuff, Ralph. So that's what I'm talking against. Yeah. So I just saying fact check everything. Yeah. Anyway, that's going down a whole other rabbit hole, which is not the point of the live, but it's still be very, very careful with AI. So I'll put that article out on Sunday night. Even if you aren't on LinkedIn, you can read the article because I've got it set to public, so anyone off LinkedIn can read that. This is the framework that I use for integrating AI into my work in marketing. Still check your facts, and I'll come back to those questions on TikTok after I hang up this live. I'll get back to you guys. Simon says when the AI pulls the content, it tends to alter it based on the prompt. That is a very, very good point, Simon. AI is good, but far from perfect. Yeah, it's still a machine. Really good point, Simon. Michael's saying Google Scholar should be reliable, but all Michaels get nicknamed Mick, so just Mick is host choice. Love it, love it. So yeah, really good point. AI does pull the content. It tends to alter based on the prompt. So it's a really good point what Simon is saying. It's still a machine, AI, and it is reacting to what you give it. I am not an AI expert, but anything that goes online, you have to be careful of the information it's getting it. And I think what is happening in the world of marketing is too many people are just saying, hey, I'm going to put this information into an AI prompt, get it back, put my information up, claim that it's marketing, and it's not. And the right way to do it is so this is how I describe it. When calculators came out, it's a good point, isn't it, Michael? When calculators came out, if you're old like me, you would remember that. Probably the young ones watching on TikTok wouldn't remember that. But if you're old like me, remember when calculators came out and we as humans had to get smarter about using calculators. It didn't mean that we stopped doing our tasks or we stopped thinking about how to add up. You still had to work out how to add up. You still had to work out different mathematical problems and solutions to those problems. It just meant that we excuse me, hiccups there. We had to get smarter at doing those, becoming smarter with those solutions. And that's what AI is. It's not a savior. It's just that we have to get smarter at those solutions. And that's the flip that we need to make. And the last point I wanted to make, which I went into it a little bit before, about Google ranking you. Google needs to work out whether you're on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. It doesn't matter. Your social media is a search engine. So it needs to rank your content. How are you going to get seen on Google for your social media? So if you are AI content, and AI content is fine if it's done in a brilliant way and it's humanized and you've got an input in it, how is it going to stack your AI content up against someone else's in Google? If you make yours brilliant and that little bit more human, you're going to outshine the other AI content. Whereas if you just push a button, copy and paste, get it out there, you're wasting your money. You're not going to get seen. So make it that human content. So Michael was saying, I see so many YouTube accounts that have jumped on the AI bandwagon. They give the prompts they use, but the algorithm updates outpace what they teach and they don't do updates. Also part of the discussion. 100%. If you want to see a really good AI account and who's crushing it and who's all over this, is a guy called Austin Armstrong. If you haven't seen him, get all across it. I'm connected with him on Facebook and LinkedIn here. Check out his Facebook account. He's got over 1 million followers on there. He's just started to build his LinkedIn account, I think, in the last 6 months. He wasn't on it, and he's already over 10,000 followers. YouTube, I think he's approaching, I don't know how many. He'll be up to 1 million soon. And he started an AI channel to see it because he's built an AI marketing platform now, but doing it the right way, brilliant way use of AI. So he's doing it correctly. He owns a company called Syllabi. Austin Armstrong, check him out. He's brilliant. And as someone in marketing, I look up to him, and he's just the kindest, most generous man with his knowledge. And I really recommend to go and watch some of his content because you'll learn so much about the AI world. He didn't start off as an AI marketer by any means. But yeah, and he's all over YouTube in terms of AI marketing. So yeah, go and check him out. All right, guys, that's it. TikTok, I'll come back to you, but everyone else, I'm going to jump off now, and I'll turn this into an article for Sunday night. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining. Michael, I will see you soon. Simon, thank you so much, and Michelle, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right. See you guys.